In this week's video, we are going to cover 3 main things that women CEOs of Fortune 500 companies focus on. Hi, I am Aline. I help women who own small businesses learn the numbers that count. Number 1, women CEOs of Fortune 500 companies avoid getting stuck in the operations of their business. So what does that mean by that? For example, she has a team where she knows that each department needs to meet certain goals, maybe run certain operations of the business. Think of her as the brain of the octopus, right? And the octopus has its hand in many different areas. So those are her branches. And for us, especially if you are a woman CEO who just mainly runs the operation of day-to-day of your business, and it's only you and maybe a virtual assistant or maybe a part-time employee or even a full-time employee, but basically there's just you and maybe one other person on your team, you feel stuck. You have to do the entire operation. You have to get involved, right? And I get that. And so I'm not saying that completely quit everything, get rid of everything. I'm saying find ways where you technically dish out more and you give more responsibility to someone else on your team. And why is that so important is because you as a CEO have the vision, the really big picture of where you want to take your business. And if you're stuck doing, for example, actually editing something on your website, or maybe editing your videos, right? Or whatever it may be, or even answering some of your calls. Why are you answering your calls when there's so many phone systems out there that could answer your calls for you? And yes, it costs money, but think of it this way. It might cost somebody, or you might charge somebody $8 an hour for them to answer your phone calls. But how are you worth $8 or are you worth $50 an hour, $100, $200, $500 an hour? What is your hourly net worth? And if you don't know what your hourly net worth is, and if you don't have my book, because I do share with you and break it down how to figure out your hourly net worth, then hang in there because I'm going to have a video for you on how to break down your hourly net worth. But let's just say that it's worth $300 an hour. Then why are you answering your calls? Why you're answering your phone? You will not pay somebody $300 an hour to answer your phone call for you, right? So learn to dish out the responsibilities that you could give to other people. And right now, if you're tight on the budget, go to Fiverr.com. I will add a link to the notes of this video. And hire someone part-time to do that for you. There's so many ways. Trust me, I know. I figured that out. And if I can figure it out, so can you. But what it's going to do is going to liberate you and free you to focus on the vision of where you want to take your business. And so it's really important that you minimize how much you get involved in the operations of your day-to-day business. Number 2. Women CEOs of Fortune 500 companies build the business and run the business as if they're going to sell it, or as if it's sellable. What I mean by that is, even if you have a really tiny business and maybe it's just you or you and one employee, still build as if you can sell your business. And when you have that mindset, it's pretty much going to force you in a way to get out of your operation, and it allows you to reverse engineer. So let's say that you want to eventually be able to sell your business for $1 million, $5 million, $10 million, whatever it may be. Okay, so then in that case, what would someone, let's say if I'm interested in buying your business, what am I going to need to see? What do I want to see? I want to be able to make sure that whenever you hand me the key to your business, right, and everything that you're handing me, that I can replicate and have a return on my investment. So then when you're thinking that way and you're reversing engineering, you're going to make decisions and you're going to choose in a way where it's going to be conducive to be able to sell your business. And that is what's so exciting about having a business. And here's a little bonus I want to share with you. Eventually, you're going to want to retire. I know you love your business, I know you love working, and you're going to always keep yourself busy, but eventually you're probably going to want to retire. Or maybe you might be interested in creating another business or venturing off, or you might start a family or whatever it may be for you, right? You want to make sure that when you step away from your business, it's still earning you an income. And when it comes to the point where you completely want to sell it or let it go, you don't want to just close a shop. Right? You don't want to just burn the key to your entire empire and your business that you created all these years. that would be such a waste, because technically then all you really did was you created a job for yourself for maybe the last 5 years. But you're doing more than that. You're creating a business where someone else, when you hand the key to someone else, they could create an income for themselves, and they could add on to your business and hire people and create jobs for people and provide a service for more clients. I mean, how amazing is that? It's pretty much in some ways creating a legacy and leaving a legacy. But ultimately, you want to make sure that everything that you put into your business right now and what you've been putting in your business is going to have a bigger return on your investment, which means that when you are ready to turn over the key, you actually have a financial equity that you could go ahead and get in return, which means selling your business. And number 3, women CEOs of Fortune 500 companies know their, drum roll, numbers. Of course, they know their numbers. Now here's the thing, just like in number 1, they are not part of the operations. They're not the payroll person, they are not the bookkeeper, they are not the CPA, and they're not the CFO at that level, right? They have their own CFO, but she still knows her numbers. And why is that so important for her? Because as a CEO, she's in control of the vision of the company and executing what's going to take to make that vision realized. And therefore, she needs to understand her numbers. She needs to know right now where they're at and what is it going to take financially for them to be able to get to the vision that she has for the company. And so it's so important even for her to be able to pull the reports that she wants or have someone pull it for her. She's going to have her team pull the reports that she wants. And I bet you she also creates the reports. I have them create the reports where she can understand, not the other way around. Now, let me say that one more time. That's really important. Okay, now this is not a fact, but I'm just assuming, and I have a really good feeling about this, that she's going to have her team create reports that fits her way of understanding numbers. And so even for yourself right now, where you're at, you probably have a bookkeeper, and I'm sure you have a CPA. And for the bookkeeper who's pulling the reports for you, you can request that person or even your assistant or your virtual assistant to pull reports in a way that helps you understand your business numbers. And it's crucial that you have them get out of their mold to understand your language, because if you don't understand your numbers, then what does it matter? What do these reports matter for you, these financial reports, if you can't even understand them? So it needs to be clear and concise for you to understand, and then they could convert it to however they need to report it back to the CPA and so forth, right? So your first responsibility is to understand your numbers, your business numbers. You got to understand them, otherwise you will not be able to take your business where you want it to go a year from now and even 5 years down the line. Quick review is number 1, they step out of the operation because they have a team in place that specialize in certain departments so that they can see the vision and be on top of the system and on top of their business and look down and be able to see what parts need to be improved and what parts working really well. And number 2, these powerful women CEOs always think of in a way where the business could be built, where it could be acquired, sold, or even merged with another company. And because of that, they reverse engineer and therefore build the business to make sure that they are in a strong position and they have the documentation and they have the financial reports to back up the business value. And number 3, the savvy women CEOs know their numbers. They know their numbers really well. It's something that's really important to them, so they work really closely with the CFO because they also want to know their numbers. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure that you do that right now. I create videos so that you can learn about the numbers that matter in your business, because if you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. Mahalo, many blessings, and I'll see you here next week on Monday.